Good afternoon and welcome to our first ever SA Market Update. Today we will look at the latest insights into employment and job seeker trends. My name is Peta Seaman and I'm the Managing Director here at Edge Recruitment. On today's show, I'll be joined by Edge Senior Recruitment Consultants Mary-Jane Masisi and Kelly Armstrong and Temp Specialist Recruitment Consultant Taryn to discuss what the SA property recruitment landscape has looked like in 2024 and what will we be expecting in 2025. Also on today's show, we'll talk about the latest unemployment rate in South Australia and Australia and what that means for employers and employees as we head into 2025, the latest hot jobs across Adelaide in property and real estate, and lastly, some insights into the latest employment expectations for flexible working. Let's get started with this week's State of the Market update. The latest quarterly data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics reveals that the unemployment rate in South Australia is equal lowest in the nation at 3.9%. This is down a further 0.4% with the addition of 1,500 jobs. Nationally, the unemployment rate remained steady at 4.1%, with employment increasing by 47,000 people. This is the first decline Australia has seen since March. In South Australia, our labour market is facing continued pressure from our ageing population and infrastructure projects. SA also has the highest underemployment rate in the country at 7.6% against the national average of 6.5%, highlighting ongoing challenges in securing full-time work. This all indicates that heading into 2025, job seekers can expect an active job market, but also quite a competitive one. Employers, meanwhile, will continue to face challenges finding candidates, filling vacancies, and may require additional effort to both attract and retain good talent. Businesses face an increasing need to offer competitive packages and to focus on retention strategies to secure and keep the best workers in their roles. And that's it for the State of the Market update. So let's take a look at SA property market update. And to discuss the property recruitment in SA, we welcome Edge Senior Consultants Mary-Jane, Kelly, and our Temp Specialist Consultant Taryn. So thank you for joining me today. The first question I have here is for Kelly. So Kelly, welcome to today's update. The property industry here in SA has seen some changes this year. Growth in the real estate and property markets has led to an increasing demand for talent, which brings some unique recruitment challenges. What are some of the main trends or changes you've noticed in the property recruitment this year?
This year in particular in South Australia, we've noticed a change in some of the higher level roles in leadership, and particularly in the property sector, and also the change with smaller residential agencies, boutique agencies in particular, being bought out by larger brands. Within the property space, there has been some movement at a high level, but mostly this year that has settled compared to last year. Last year, there was a big shortage of candidates in all areas of recruitment, where I have noticed in the last 6 months or so there has been a shift. We are seeing more quality applications coming through when advertising. In saying this, there is still a shortage of qualified property managers and residential property managers within our industry, along with, I would say, lease administrators. But I'm sure that will never change. We need more qualified people in this industry. In the resi space, we have seen multiple changes with legislation pushing towards easier conditions for tenants obtaining homes. For example, for having pets. Tenants are now allowed to have pets in rental properties. This is a bit of a shift with property managers as well. And I think in the next 12 months, overall, we'll see some shift whether people will leave the industry or stay in the resi industry as well.
Fantastic, thank you. Sounds like some unique challenges and things going on in the property sector leading into 2025. Taryn, this question's for you. The low unemployment rate in SA means it's more important than ever to stand out in the tight job market. What are the most important things job seekers need to do or need to know to be competitive in the property industry as we head into 2025?
Yeah, I think job seekers need to, I guess, make sure that they're contactable and they get back to people. Make sure your resume is clear and it shows all of your achievements, and cover any gaps in your resume, and make sure you've got the clearances you might need for some roles if it's in government, and obviously, make sure you're showing your qualifications. Another important thing is make sure you check your social media profile and make sure it's appropriate, and clients do look at those things. And I guess the main thing is stay positive and don't give up in your search.
Fantastic, some great tips there, Taryn. Thank you very much for that. And Mary Jane, our 2024 Employment and Salary Trends report shows that what matters most to employees has changed rapidly over the past few years. In fact, 71% of employees said they value career opportunities, work-life balance, and training even more than salary. Given these challenges, changing values, as well as the tight market brought on by the low unemployment rate, what are the main things employers need to be doing and offering to attract and retain the best property talent in 2025? Mary Jane?
Thanks, Peter. That's a great question. With working with our clients in real estate and property, there's some really good tips that you need to look at. Let's make the recruitment process easy for our candidates to go to interview in regards to coming back to consultants quickly, providing good feedback for the candidates. With Edge Recruitment, we try and obtain references as soon as possible so that clients are able to make quick decisions. In regards to what candidates are looking for, most candidates are looking for career progression, and career progression to everybody is a little bit different these days, whether it might be a leadership position, stepping up to be a senior member of team, it looks very different. We will also encourage employers to look at flexible working arrangements, and it might be as simple as letting someone leave at 4 o'clock so they can coach their son's soccer team. Everybody is very different, and I think it's something that needs to be considered when you're employing the new person on your team. One other tip that we can give people is make sure that your onboarding for your new employee is simple and easy. They get a really good rundown of the business in the first week of starting and being able to provide some good information in regards to their role.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for those tips there, Mary Jane. I think great tips leading in to planning for 2025 for both candidates and employers. So, to ask all of you, what would you say to anyone considering a career move within or into the South Australian property industry in 2025? Taryn, I'll start with you.
I would say go for it. It's a great fast-paced environment with some fantastic companies, and there's plenty of work in that area. So I would encourage people to go for jobs in that industry.
Fantastic, thank you. And on to you, Mary Jane.
What's really important is when you're considering a career move, make sure that you've got the right education behind you and that you've got the right courses and the right licenses to go forward in the industry. It's always important to make sure that you've got these licenses in place before you put your hand up for one of our roles.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And on to you, Kelly.
What I would say to anyone wanting to join the industry is that I think it's such an exciting industry to be in. It's ever changing. There's lots of career progression. I've seen people and I've placed people that have been receptionists all the way through now. They're state managers of companies here in South Australia. You've got to have a passion for property, really enjoy it. And it is a very niche market here in Adelaide. Everybody does seem to know everybody. But in saying that, it's where you can become a real professional in your own space and enjoy what you do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Does sound like a very exciting industry to work in, and particularly in today's market. So thank you, Mary Jane, Kelly and Taryn, for joining me today. It's now time to take a look at this week's hot property and real estate jobs in Adelaide. Okay, so the first job that we've got coming up here is our Trust Accountant and Administrator. This is located in Adelaide CBD and has an attractive salary attached to it. In order for you to be successful in this role, you must have experience in accounts receivable and payable and be able to understand processing tenant trust deposits and payments. If this sounds like the role for you, then I would recommend that you reach out to Kelly Armstrong at kelly@edgerecruit.com.au or contact her directly on 0433 505 499. And the next job that we have here in Adelaide is the Project Support Officer, Executive Support. So this is a city fringe location. It is a temporary position and it's immediate start with full-time office hours, paying between $43 and $45 per hour. To be successful in this role, you'll need to have strong executive support and organisational skills in a previous role. And if you're interested in this role, I'd reach out to Taryn Widows at taryn@edgerecruit.com.au or 0477 703 020. And the third job for today is a residential property manager. So this role is based in Adelaide CBD office and is offering a competitive salary and a car allowance to manage a portfolio in the southwestern suburbs and a growing property management company. This is an exciting opportunity for someone who has approximately 2 years experience in residential property management. If you're interested in hearing more about this role, contact Mary Jane Massisi at maryjane@edgerecruit.com.au or on her mobile 0405 679 971. That's it for the hot jobs for this week. Now let's take a look at the start of the week. Okay, so before the COVID pandemic in 2019, working from home was often seen as a luxury and a perk offered to the most forward-thinking companies. However, post-pandemic, it has evolved into an expectation rather than a benefit. A staggering 74% of companies have reported an increase in demand for flexible work, and companies such as Telstra, Medibank are leveraging remote work as a permanent feature to gain competitive edge. Despite this, many businesses are still not fully prepared to abandon office-based roles. Our 2024 Employment and Salary Trends report shows that 13% of resignations in 2023 were due to a lack of flexibility. Especially in a tight labour market in South Australia, it's not just about attracting talent anymore. It's crucial to retain the workforce you already have, and offering flexibility will be a major part of this in 2025. So that's it for today. Jump onto Edge Recruitment's social media across LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. If you have anything you'd like to add to these topics, we've discussed today, and to also stay ahead of the job market and be the first to hear about any new property and real estate job opportunities across Adelaide. Thank you for joining us for this week's Edge Recruitment Live, and we'll be back soon with the next edition to cover the latest market trends, employment updates across Adelaide. See you then.